sorry about that. We're going to call this part 12. Part 11 will just be 20 minutes. I checked the end of the last video to make sure that this dialogue box syncs up with where we left off. Anyway, Bart says, "How long do you plan on being like that? Get a hold of yourself." Citan says, "This is all just speculation based on circumstantial evidence. It'd be best for you to confirm what is the truth with your own eyes." Ellie says, "We're going to go on further. Bart and Rico, could you please accompany the person from Shivat to the Yggdrasil?" Alrighty. I don't know what even happened. Whatever. Alright. Billy says, "I can't believe it. The ethos was that dubious an organization? What was it that I believed in all this time?" Someone in the background says, "Isn't that the very reason why I told you back then that you belong with us?" Billy said, "Verlaine." Verlaine says, "You're defiled, Billy. You left the ethos and kept company with dregs who have no faith at all, and you lost sight of what it means to be defiled." He says, "I didn't expect it out of you. You who used to live only for your faith. You should have remained like us." "Fear not, Billy. I will cleanse you. You'll live within me. You will become one with me in death." And the assassins are going after him, I guess. Verlaine says, "What?" Oh, it's Jesse. Verlaine says, "You!" Billy says, "Father, how could you do that?" Jesse says, "What are you getting flustered about, boy?" "It was a stun bullet. He's just taking a nap. You should have been able to tell by the sound it made. Besides, these murderers are not from the ethos." Jesse says, "Look." Billy says, "That symbol." Jesse says, "Yep, that's right. They're agents of Solaris. Probably an assassination unit under Stone's command. I got word that they were exterminating all Ethos members and hurried here, but I was too late. All Ethos affiliates have already been killed, except for those on some sort of salvage mission." Billy says, "You claim Verlaine and his men are an assassination unit for the bishop? How could you even say such blasphemy?" Verlaine says, "That's right, we are servants of the bishop. Our mission is to hand out judgment on fallen priests and sinners in order to make them repent." Billy says, "Is that true, Verlaine? But why people from the ethos?" Verlaine said, "The pontiff and his brethren deserve to die. They allowed greed to tempt them into abandoning their duties as the ethos to pursue world domination. They passed their own death sentences when they allowed such desires to overtake them. And that's not all. Saving orphans and refugees, that may seem like works of mercy, but the little boys and girls kept here were actually used as a means to satisfy the desires of the pontiff and bishops. Indulging in selfish desires, this is not conduct befitting priests. Such defiled leaven have no right to speak for God. That is why we set out on this purification work. They must atone for their sins. These are the bishop's orders." Billy says, "Even if that were true, we have no right to punish others. Judgment belongs to God. That is what we were taught, isn't it?" Verlaine says, "God, where does such a being exist? You should know by now how the ethos came about. It was an organization created by Solaris aeons ago, solely for the purpose of managing ignorant humans. Its doctrines are just deceptions designed to control the masses. The ethos used the two sweet fruits of faith and technology, well, to skillfully manipulate global affairs and people's zeal. Thus, they manipulated the ignorant masses to repeatedly continue their pointless wars. Eventually, battle data on man and weapons gleaned from these wars were sent to Solaris itself. This information was analyzed to aid in ruling the entire world. These intentionally perpetuated wars caused much psychological discord." I think they spelled that wrong. "But faith in God, salvation, was used as a cushion to soften the blow. It's a well thought out system, but the choice of managers was extremely poor. Or did you think acting the part of a faithful servant of God would someday yield an answer from a great God somewhere? Can't you see that such a divine being just never existed from the beginning? And you don't seem to realize this, but you yourself were passing judgment on sinners as much as we were. Billy says, I've been passing judgment? Verlaine says that's right. Daily you've been dirtying your hands as an accomplice. Someone somewhere else is saying, are you trying to take away my ultimate pleasure, Verlaine? Verlaine says, gah! I guess he got shot by Bishop Stone. Billy says, Verlaine, hang in there. Verlaine says, Billy! And is shot again. Billy screams out Verlaine's name to no avail. He is super dead. Bishop Stone says, a good-for-nothing chatterbox such as you has no right to live. Billy says, Bishop, why Verlaine? What in heavens are you trying to accomplish? Bishop Stone says, I am the Inquisitor sent to Earth from Solaris. Citan says, Inquisitor? Stone says, the status of Bishop is merely a convenience for my activities on Earth. The Ethos was created as a Solaris sub-organization and given the task of managing Earth dwellers. But over the years, the Ethos started to set up convenient doctrines for itself. It then went on to gather the ignorant masses and created a god for them to believe in. Then the Ethos went so far as to plot a separation from its creator, Solaris. So Solaris had no choice but to eliminate all those who defy our rule and raise the flag of rebellion. The ones prepared as eliminators were the Etone. Etones, the Atoners, the organization I established within the Ethos, had two purposes. On the surface, their aim was to eliminate the reapers or wells that run rampant on the Earth. That's not their only purpose, however. Behind the scenes, we also had selected men like Verlaine. These men were responsible for observing and eliminating any corrupt people who appeared in Ethos. You didn't have the chance to learn of this since you left the Ethos so early. Or actually, I just never told you. There was another role I wanted you to perform. Billy says, another role? Stone says, Billy, there are certain things in this world that you're happier not knowing. Even lies and deceptions can become the truth for some people of the Earth, particularly those not knowing the true nature of things or how these systems of things work. In fact, the God and faith systems set up by the Ethos were the truth itself, were they not? Billy says, tell me, what other role were you talking about? What did Verlaine mean when he spoke of judgment? Stone says, you want to know, but can you bear the full weight of the truth? Billy, if you can bear that weight, then I'm willing to tell you. Stone says, you believed that you were saving wandering souls, didn't you? That's why you carried out your cleansing of the reapers from the Earth. Is that correct? In fact, it was all just another control system put in place by Solaris. What's more, your saving work, that very activity you believed in so much, was in reality... Jesse interrupts and says, you're talking too much nonsense. Billy says, Father! Jesse says, you haven't changed at all since then. Have you, Stein? Billy says, Stein? Stone says, that's a name I haven't been called for a long time. Hearing that name vividly brings back a pleasant twinge of pain to the scars of this body. You know what I mean, Josiah. Jesse says, your brain still isn't working right. Answer me. Why do you have such a roundabout way of doing things? Stone says, that's not worth my breath answering. Just consider it my reward in life. Of course, that includes watching your agonizing death. He says, I could succumb to the desire to slice up your body here and now and drag out your innards, but I can't do that. I have a matter to attend to elsewhere. That duty comes before any pleasure I could have with you here. I haven't the time to waste any more. Jesse says, I won't let you go that easily. Stone says, I can't be bothered by insignificant wretches like you, and sends his minions to attack. Stone says, until next time, and as a parting gift, I'll have these men entertain you. Billy says, Bishop Stone. Stone says, well then, excuse me. Oh, and Billy, if you have something you wish to discuss, come see me later. I'll be waiting for you. And it's fighty fight time. Jesse says, "You aren't going nowhere," and starts running after him. I think that's, yeah, just that computer room. Jesse says, "Just missed him. Looks like Stein's there." Ellie says, "That gear is huge." Jesse says, "The mobile gear of Solaris was Alkenshell, wasn't it, Hyuga?" Seitan says, "What? Yeah, something like that." Jesse says, "It may be big, but it's slow to maneuver, so we'll be alright in our gears. But its firepower is phenomenal. Against a bigger target like a ship, blam, it'd be all over. Ain't that right, Hyuga?" Seitan says, "Yes, probably." Jesse says, "See what I mean?" Ellie says, "Wait a minute, that means..." Seitan says, "The Thames fleet is in danger. They are unaware of this." Billy says, "I think that Yggdrasil can catch up with the gear. Let's hurry and go help the Thames fleet." Someone aboard the Yggdrasil says, "I've picked up the Ethos fleet in the Thames on the radar. They're on the sea south of here. If we travel at full speed, we can reach them in an hour." Sigurd says, "Set sail for Thames." "Aye, aye, sir." Sigurd says, "What's on the radar?" This person says, "The radar detected an enormous object. It appeared straight above the fleet." Bart says, "Don't tell me Stone's there already." He says, "No, it's much bigger than that. I estimate it's at least 2,000 sharls." Billy says, "That's gigantic. What in the heavens is happening?" Ooh. That's some epic explodey time. The Gazelle Ministry says, "All that was needed was to fulfill the duty. Now I sense a thought of greed. A selfish creed, I question his faith. We have no need for an organization of fanatics. We will seek what they will. It's their nature. Too much is undue. Something must be done. A reprimand is necessary. They are an expendable group. There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Yes, there's nothing more to gain from their continued existence. They've already done what we required. Currently, we're in the process of dealing with each area responsible. Stein is in charge of dealing with Aquavie. Bear in mind the need for a fitting solution. Didn't we just take care of that? Moreover, Krelian is rather exorbitant. It's only a molecular machine. Why is he placing so much importance on it? Humans and machines, it's all the same to us. Yes, they are all the same," speaks the computer with multiple human personalities inside of it. Totally ripped off from Evangelion. Cough, cough. Main gun, 20 seconds till energy is charged. Engineering, ready for a full demonstration. Main ship, military units are at standby. This appears to be Ramza's ship. Cleanup is at 80%. Currently, our heading is clear. Oh no, that's Krelian. Krellian, there are several ships that have not been vaporized. What should we do? Krellian says, Lambs 3, 5, and 11 are damaged. Just retrieve the non-damaged ones. Eliminate the rest of the trash. Use the test subjects for retrieval and elimination. Someone on the ship says, we've confirmed the marker location of Stein. Of the 130 research and excavation sites, it's in the southernmost peak. Shock troops are entering Zaboim now. Krellian says, I see. The thing they've searched for over 500 years. This should be interesting. Releasing the Reapers. Meanwhile, on board the Thames, the captain says, did you see that huge fishbowl thing? Hans says, what are you asking me for? The captain says, weren't the other salvager fleets almost blown away by one shot? Is this the way that Ethos greets us? Hans says, I seriously doubt that. Why do they have to attack us? We only came here to help. Another person says, Captain, Reapers are coming out of the fishbowl in the dozens. The captain says, what? Hans says, this can't be happening. The captain says, launch the gears, load the gun. Hans says, Captain. Captain says, alright, y'all, we're gonna assist and rescue any of the survivors from the other ships. If that's at all possible while trying to retreat. Shoot down the wells with our 2 guns. Don't let those filthy things near our Thames. Captain says, Hans, look alive. Take the helm. We'll show that thing how real men of the sea retreat. Hans says, yes, sir. And we cut away to something else. It's just showing all the gears hopping off the Thames. And shooting at the Reapers as they fall out of the sky. Everyone is panicked aboard the ship. Anyhow, on the Yggdrasil, one of the officers says, I've detected a rescue signal. It seems the Thames is being attacked by Reapers. Bart says, so this is the purging by Solaris that Stone talked about. Citan says, let us make haste, otherwise the Thames will be destroyed. Alright, time to make a party. Faye is still sleeping, so we're good to go. Where the heck is the Thames? There we go. Captain says, Citan, you came because you were worried? Citan says, yes. But you seem to be better off than I thought. Captain says, of course. We are men of the sea. Is what I like to say, but the truth is, the situation's been pretty bad. We have some people that are injured badly and some that are fatal. Considering what happened to the other ships, we're in no position to complain. And by the way, Citan, what the hell is up with that fishbowl thing? It came out of nowhere and kicked our butts and left behind Reapers. And then it headed for some obscure excavation site where there's supposed to be nothing. That's odd since we were sent to go to a more deeper and bigger excavation site. Citan says, just as I thought. The captain says, some say they saw a huge gear-like monster. It seemed like it was guiding that fishbowl to the excavation site, or so I'm told. Citan says, it must be stone. It appears there is something there for sure. The captain says, call it Salvager's intuition, but I don't want to get any closer. And Citan, is that fishbowl an enemy of yours? Citan says, you could say that. The captain says, well, I won't ask for revenge, but I can't just sit back and do nothing. If you're against it, we'll help any way we can. You can ask Hans anything about the site. Hans says the fishbowl was headed due north, but why? There's nothing there. Okay. Well, that's super useless. I guess I just keep going north. I think it's that thing right there. Maybe. Oh yeah, there's a beach. Okay. And here we are. Billy says, Citan, what is Solaris trying to do? Citan says, the main Solaris army. Why all of this? Well, let us get down there. It appears I have entered this place. There's a guard standing there. He probably doesn't want to hang out with me, so he attacks me. Okay, I can't go in there. Doesn't appear there's any other place I can go, though. Oh, there's Graph. Miang says, did you notice his gear is reawakening? Soon he himself will awaken also. They must be talking about Faye. Miang says his friends are headed for Zaboin. It's been sealed for 4,000 years. You know it's there better than I do. He probably won't give anyone anything, but it's something we both need. You know what I mean? Miang says, so please. Alright, it appears there are 3 ways to go. Or maybe not. Billy says, these are the ruins of a city. I've heard of it, but... Ellie says, I know it well. The cavern city is a boim. When we were buried in that vast mausoleum, Citan says, Ellie, what's wrong? Apparently she's freaking out. Ellie says, huh? What? Citan says, hurry on ahead. Oh boy, let's maybe cure myself. So many doors I can't do anything with. I think this is about midway through the game. And as anyone who's played this before knows, Disc 2 is kind of like, they obviously ran out of budget. And it becomes kind of like more of a visual novel than it does a video game. Let's see if I missed anything up there. Oh boy. Are those things stealing my EP? That's really annoying. Okay, so there's nothing there. I should have just stayed where I was. Whee! Billy says, such a fine, well-equipped isolation facility. Could it be a hospital? But the town outside doesn't look so polluted, though. Citan says, rather strict airlock and scanning equipment. It doesn't look operational. The inside is preserved so well, so the outside probably is too. Gotta love random encounters and forced encounters in the same narrow hallway. Ellie says, oh. Citan says, Ellie, do you remember this? Ellie says, yes, I wonder why. It's terribly lonely and familiar. Okay. Wasn't trying to talk to the computer, but it talked to me anyway. Whee! Gotta love the undead enemies. Billy says, what an inconvenient building. It seems like it's refusing outsiders. Citan says, labyrinths are not usually built to protect against enemies. They're usually made to seal something inside of them. Billy says, not to keep something out, but to keep something in. I wonder what that something is. Received black snake. Holy moly, that's a lot of enemies. Jeez. They've definitely stolen all of her EP. That's obnoxious. Emergency level 5. The emergency button inside the reactor was activated. Wow. 34,999,999 hours ago. From this point, there is danger of nano-contamination. When entering the room, please execute a manual scan and confirm safety. After confirming, please reset the emergency level at the nearest terminal. Execute manual scan? Sure. Please wait. Scan confirmed. Scan complete, confirmed, no nano-contamination. You can re-enter the room by resetting the emergency level at the nearest terminal. Oh, god damn it. It's gonna make me walk back to that computer, isn't it? What an ass pain. For fuck's sake. You take 2 steps, you get attacked. Reset. Level normal. Did I miss anything in there? I don't think so. Jeez. Such tedium. This floor is completely active. Pressure decreased. And it lets me in. Alrighty, let's play. Which door do I go through? Alright, well this room does nothing. It says we need a password. Okay. Ellie says, blood, covered in blood, my blood. No pain, just cold and sadness. Citan says, Ellie. Ellie says she has been here all by herself all this time. referring, of course, to Emeralda. Blood? It certainly is covered in blood in this scorching heat. No, maybe it's radiation. Perhaps it's an emergency disinfection system. These marks are evidence that it has not been used. Ellie. Ellie says, O vessel for a new soul, may the soul who resideth in you find peace. Apparently she knows how to operate this. Satan says, Ellie, don't do that. Ellie says, Satan, who am I? What am I doing? What am I saying? Satan says, what the? Billy says, Satan, this girl, how did she suddenly change into human form? Satan says, this girl appears to be an artificial life form created inside the reactor. She was probably assembled by using that series in the database in the control room. Her body is most likely nanomachines. Stone finishes the sentence and says, constructed from autonomic machines on a molecular level. In other words, a colony of nanomachines. Cool. Alright, Stone says, I'm going to be taking that nanomachine colony with me. Thanks. That is the existence or key factor which God will guide us by to free humanity from its yoke. Whatever the hell that means. Stone says, so, if you don't mind, don't steal Emeralda from me. Billy says, Bishop. Stone says, Billy, you're here too. This makes things more simple. I know you'll understand. This nanomachine colony needs to be in the hands of an honorable person. It's destined to be the salvation of humanity. Billy says, an honorable person? I don't think you're honorable. Eliminating the ethos and surface-dwelling humans that don't agree with your will? Stone says, what's the problem with eliminating people not fit for salvation? Why isn't our very faith based on the precept that only the chosen will be saved? Billy says, there's something very wrong with that. Salvation by faith is something that everyone should have an equal opportunity at attaining. Yep, and that's what's wrong with every religion ever. Stone says, are you saying that you can save all of mankind? If Krellian uses the nanomachine colony, at least we can save some people. But you don't understand how to utilize this. You can't save anyone. Are you willing to take the responsibility for the loss you will cause mankind? Stone says, my job is to bring this colony back to Krellian. You see, unlike the ethos, our aim is not the ancient weapons that lay in the city ruins. I don't think we conflict with your interests. Ellie says, we can't allow them to take this child. Billy says, salvation or not, what you are planning on doing with this girl. I know your deeds are not honorable. Bishop, I'm sorry, but I cannot be a part of this. Stone says, I see. I couldn't make you understand. It cannot be helped. I don't have the time to convince you further. Please excuse me, I must hurry on. Satan says, wait there. Why they let everyone go, I'll never know. Stone has now sent in the elements. Talone and Seraphita. Are they gonna fucking chat with me too, or can we just beat their ass? Stone says, buy me as much time as possible. They say, we know, we know. Hey Talone, let's hurry up. I don't like this place. Yeah, it's only because it's on Ramses' orders. Geez, now he's got us protecting this stuff. Talone says, well, that's how it is, folks. It'd help us if you hurry up and lose. Billy says, who in heavens are you? We don't have time to waste talking to you. Talone says, excuse us, but we can't let you go. We don't care much for Krellian, but if we do a crappy job, it'll make Ramses look bad. Thanks to you fools reviving her, we can get this mission over with sooner than we thought. Seraphita says, yeah, we didn't know how to operate that machinery. We were confused. Thanks for your kind help. Talone says, Sarah, don't tell them that. Just as I was building us up to make us sound psychologically superior. Damn. Seraphita says, what? When people do you a kindness, you should say thanks. That's what Grandma always said. But I'm impressed, Talone. Psychologically superior? Your gin and tonic futon brain cyborg implants sure make you sound smart. Talone said, that's positronic photon brain, you idiot. Gin and tonic futon? You make me sound like I'm a sleepy drunk. Now they're saying that earlier pun is bound to get us into trouble with the makers of Star Trek, and they spell Star Trek wrong. Ellie says, be careful. These are Ramses's elite fighters. They look harmless, but they're dangerous. Citan says, then even their conversation was planned. Ellie says, no, that's just how they are. That's what makes them really dangerous. My. Damn it. Of course, my save didn't work, so just bear with me while I skip all this dialogue that I just read. Oh, that bastard stole all my EP. Talone says, Seraphita, enough already. We've done the job. Let's pull out. Talone, wait for me. You're gonna make me walk out of this place. Oh boy. I just love content padding. O vessel for a new soul, created to remove the yoke. I just can't hand over our child to you. No, stop it. Apparently Faye is waking up. But before he does, he has memories of his past life in Zaboim as Kim, who is the creator of Emeralda, the name of the nanomachine colony that just got kidnapped. She's 4,000 years old, so I don't know if kidnapping is an appropriate word for that. Where did Faye go? Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We've got some work to do now, motherfucker. God, I hate that Billy's weapons don't auto-reload. Fuck you. I think I remember like playing this on the PS1 as like a 14-year-old and just screaming the F word over and over again every time those enemies put me to sleep. Even with the emulator making this super fast, still not much more fun than it was all those years ago. Oh, for the love of fuck. How do I get out of this hellhole? Sighton says, Bishop Stone, wait. Stone says, Elements, you're not even as good as they say. Can't even buy me some time. Someone says, give it back. Stone seems confused. Give it back. Give it back. And here comes Id. Id is laughing hysterically at nothing. He seems very sane. That is mine. Give it back. Stone says, what do you want? Who are you? Id says, to you, it's just a used up toy. Give it back. It belongs to me. Billy says, who are you? At least give us your name. Id says, names do not matter. However, if you insist, Id. This guy can take out a gear, but when he punches me in the face, it's like 80 damage. Ugh, those goddamn enemies stole all my EP in a place where there's multiple boss fights. Fucking game developers. Billy says, you're strong, huh? Id says, you. Stone says, now's our chance. Get back to Krelian. Wise Man says, I got him. Hurry. Go after them. Wise Man, who is also Graph, I think. Sighton says, that voice. Wise Man. Everyone go. Hurry. Billy says, what the? Id says, a little early, isn't it? I see, it was that woman. Fine. You'll do fine as my toy for today. Wiseman says, oh no. Id laughs insatiably. Billy said, wow, that was just in time. That man and Wiseman, they're really fighting it out. The ether reaches all the way up here. And up the choo-choo we go. Sighton says, we're too late. Billy says, Citan, so what happens now that Krelian took the child? What is a nanomachine anyway? Citan says, nanomachines are robots that are smaller than human cells. They are used to cure diseases or wounds in Solaris. Citan says, she may be a colony of nanomachines, but made by an ancient but advanced civilized technology. Billy says, even if it's only for the people of Solaris, what's wrong with making people happy? Citan says, I'm worried about what Bishop Stone mentioned. He said he needed her to free humanity from its yoke. Perhaps some ancient information on human reconstruction is hidden inside of her. Demi-humans such as Rico and Hammer were born from the results of messing around with DNA. That was done by ancient Solaris in the hopes that it would bring about the restoration of mankind. If Krelian is trying to use the same thing with improved nanotechnology, that would be frightening. Alrighty. Whee. Well, I guess I'll go take a nap. Since they had enemies take all my EP. Friggin' bastards. No new stuff. Faye isn't here. I wonder where he went. Sigurd says, Faye isn't in the infirmary. He must be on board, somewhere. Bart says he's ready anytime. Okay. Alright. Let me see here. Guess I gotta go to the hangar. Faye. Faye says, Doc. Citan says, feeling better? Faye says, yes. Ellie says, what are you doing riding a gear when you're only just recovering? Faye says, I don't know how I got here. I don't have a clear head yet. Citan says, Faye, you should not be moving around. Elk and Shell located straight ahead. Prepare gears for launch. Sigurd says, seems like they're watching us. Okay. Faye says, I must go. Citan says, you're in no condition. Let us take care of this. Billy says, looks like it's time to settle the score, but Faye should be resting. Citan says, yes, I shall take him to the infirmary. Billy, please take care of the rest of things. Billy says, please help us if you can. Alright, that's good enough. Stone says, observing, what a roundabout way. Just take care of it and it'll be over. How his face turned like that, I'll never know. Stone says, those who become enemies of the sacred gazelle, I will eliminate them all. Repent now. And Graf appears and says, do you want the power? Stone says, who are you? Graf probably just says, do you want the power? Again, because that's kind of what he does. Graf says, I'm Graf, the seeker of power, bitch. Doth thou desire the power? Stone says, power? There's power in here. I received this from Krelian. Graf says, all this power is fake. Do you think you can win with it? Stone says, what do you mean, fake power? Graf says, fake body, fake awakening, it's all useless. I will give you the power. He's not even giving this guy a choice. He's like, I'm just gonna bestow this upon thee. My fist is the divine breath. Blossom, O fallen seed, and draw upon thy hidden powers. Motherfucker. Grant unto thee the power of the glorious Mother of Destruction. And bazinga. Stone likes it. He orgasms. Alright, time to fight this piece of shit. Well, let's not use that then. Whatever. All my attacks are going to be nullified. Bart says, no good, didn't get through. Citan says, there's some kind of barrier, some kind of negative feeling, hatred, somehow charged into an ether, forming a barrier. If we can change our strong force of will into ether also and throw them back at it. Stone says, son of Josiah, are you suffering? When I took you in 4 years ago, that was proof of my old friendship with your father. In that hate-stained friendship with Josiah, we competed for command of Gebler. Josiah, like a beast, you stole the Raquel I loved, and threw away the command of Gebler that I wanted so much, then disappeared from Solaris. Captain Resenti Pants is a little resenty. Stone says, 4 years ago, after searching to the ends of the earth, no trace of him could be found. Stone says, Raquel, dirtied by him, and the reminder of that taint, you and your sister. Through Krelian's wisdom, using the wells, I saved Raquel from misery. So basically, Stone suck a bunch of monsters on his friend's wife, because he's jealous, and killed her. Billy says, you son of a bitch, you used them against my mother. Stone says, yes, Billy. Let me tell you something really good. Those reapers that you have been purging are really all people. They were chosen by the ethos and converted by Krelian. You've been slaughtering people. Ha ha ha! A wretched son for a wretched father. He continues to laugh. He says, confess and pay for your sins. I think Josiah says there's nothing for you to regret. He says to Stone, you say you and Raquel were in love? You always were a narcissistic, self-preserving fool. Stone says, that voice. Jesse says, I'll take this one. Use this, Billy. If you use this, you can rip off the barrier. Citan says, that's a bump line. It's an ether gun gear where the pilot rides directly in the bullet. If we use that, we can break Stone's negative hatred power. However, Jesse says, Billy, if we merge our gears together, then we can break through that barrier with our combined attack. I'm gonna borrow your shoulder for a moment, so start aiming now. Jesse says, let's wrap this up once and for all, Stein. But I want you to know that you aren't gonna see Raquel when you die. That's because your destination is hell. Nice. Citan says, I knew it. Josiah is planning on using it. He must be stopped. Billy, can you hear me? Billy! No good. No response. Jesse says, Billy, you know now, don't ya? Stein's teachings were all a deception. That fabricated faith was just a worldly system for compensating those people with fragile souls. But faith and God aren't things which are given to you from others, right? They're things you have to discover within yourself and by yourself. Things that cannot be put into words, things that cannot be expressed. Isn't that what God is all about? Question not thy God, for thy God doth not respond. Jesse says, the reason I taught you how to use a gun as a child was to save people. You say that guns are just tools for killing people, but you're wrong. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Have you ever looked at the expressions on the faces of those Reapers you destroyed? It's an excruciating process to be turned into a Reaper. To ease their torturous pain, they seek human blood and attack people in order to get it. But that does not vanquish the true pain within their hearts. There's only one way to be saved from that pain. That is by termination. Didn't all those Reapers put out of their misery by you have peaceful looks on their faces? Your gun saved those people who were turned into Reapers. It's not something anyone can do. The faith that enabled you to accomplish that was no deception. God exists within you. Billy says, Father. Jesse says, all right, now let's go, Billy. Go. One must wonder, if the pilot rides in the bullet, why it was a 6-chamber gun. Apparently, the barrier is terminated. Citan says, too late. Billy! That is a weapon that uses its pilot as the warhead. Billy says, what? Then Father is, oh my. God, to be precise. Alright. So, it reset all my fucking attack levels to 0. That's bullshit. Oh my god. Of course it has some stupid ass attacks that have your health. Apparently it liked that. Okay. It absorbs all elemental attacks. That's bullshit. Ugh. That bastard is toast. Billy says, Dad. Citan says, Billy! I should not have made such a thing. Billy says, it's not your fault. And starts firing bullets into the sea. He says, this is the best way to see Father off. But he was there all along. Josiah says, you're right, thanks, son. Dad, says Billy. Old friend, are you alright, says Citan. Jesse says, you'd better believe it. I ain't gonna leave that stupid junk alone, I improved it. Jesse says, ouchie wow wow. I never want to do that again, though. Citan says, but still, talking about hell, I'm surprised to know an irreligious person like you would believe in life after death. Jesse says, oh, you were listening. That was a curse. Isn't that a fitting end for him? Citan says, it's definitely your style. Primera speaks for the first time in a decade. She says, Papa. Billy says, Prim. What did you just say, Prim? Primera says Papa again. Jesse laughs and says, did you hear that? Primera's problem seems to have been solved. Billy said, Prim talked. She just talked. Hey, Prim, say my name. Say Billy. Jesse says, what about the ethos? They've completely devastated themselves. That mob just goes from bad to worse. Satan says, do you not think it's about time you told your son the truth? You were not just wandering around drinking and picking fights, were you? I'm sure he wants to know what you've been up to. Is that right, Billy? Billy says, yes, it would make me feel better. I now know my dad was worried about the whole time, but I haven't worked out my own feelings yet. Jesse says, what do you mean? Billy says, I'm glad Prim can speak now, but she only calls out for her father, but I'm the one who's been taking care of her all this time. What's wrong with her? Satan says, calm down, Billy. I'm sure she's just being shy. She'll start calling out for you soon. Why, my own daughter does not even call out her father's name. Satan says, old friend, why were you working alone that whole time? Jesse says it couldn't be helped. Anyway, I'll probably need your help from here on out. He continues, okay, I'll tell you more. Let's go to the gun room to get something to drink. Jesse says, when I was in Solaris, I found out about the secret plan. That was the Malik, or M plan, and it was done under the command of Krelian. In order to proceed, many lambs were gathered to become guinea pigs, or should I say reapers. Jesse says, I was disgusted with Solaris methods. I investigated it further. I found out that the main scientist central to the M plan moved the true facts about it into a test gear. Then he let that test gear escape with his daughter so that the truth would not be discovered. And that, I'm afraid, was the last information I was able to obtain. Jesse says, because of what I found out, I came down to the surface world, and this is where I hid, along with my wife Raquel and son Billy. I've been looking for that gear and the girl ever since. Jesse says, finally, I found out that the scientist's daughter and gear may be in Shivat. That would be Maria and Oxane, I believe. Jesse says, all very well, except now I don't know how in blazes to get there, or even how to contact the place. Shivat is protected by a strong barrier that Solaris can't do anything about. I guess you can say it can't be helped. It's just my luck. And then someone says, that girl's name wouldn't happen to be Maria, would it? Billy says, are you alright? Shouldn't you get more rest? The Shivat agent says, I can stand and walk now, thank you. Faye says, I'm alright too. Jesse says, Maria, eh? If I remember right, her father's name was Nikolai. Sounds very Russian. I don't know that much, but I've heard rumors about the girl and the gear. Jesse says, it's gotta be them, so that huge gear is in Shivat then. So then, how can we get to this Shivat? Is there a way to contact the place? Shivat agent says, unfortunately, since I was taken captive, I have no way of contacting them either. Jesse says, I see. Shivat agent says, there just may be a way. Originally, Shivat was situated on top of Babel Tower. They say there is a communication facility to contact Shivat's native country on top of the tower, if only it still exists. Satan says, There's a good possibility the facility may have been destroyed. Possibility Facility? That sounds like a great name. Anyway, Satan continues, especially when you consider the fact that the tower was sealed by the ethos. Jesse says, you're being pessimistic. Satan says, I'm being realistic. Bart says, I guess we have no choice but to try to go there. As long as the gate exists, we can't escape from Solaris anyway. In other words, even if we recover Ava from Shakan, it wouldn't immediately be a happy ending. Satan says, their secret plan bothers me too. The real secret is that they are using humans gathered from Earth. Faye says, I don't quite get this secret plan and the ethos involvement. What in the hell does Solaris think us What in the hell does Solaris think us surface-dwelling humans are? Faye says, sorry, I forgot that it was your country. Ellie says, what my country is doing has nothing to do with me. I myself thought something was wrong, and that's why I came. Don't worry about me. Faye says, we've got nothing to lose, so let's try to go there. We need to find the truth about those documents found in the Ethos headquarters and what Billy's father said. Faye continues, I must go to Shivat for my own personal reasons anyhow. Faye says, no time like the present. Let's go to Babel Tower right away. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to change all that shit up anyway. The Gazelle Ministry says, you're back. Find anything? Krellian says, yes. I've obtained a colony of nanomachines. The Ministry says, how unsound. In any case, is the M project proceeding as planned? We need superior bodies and servants. We've spent far too much time here. We can't afford to mistake the ultimate destination of this new civilization. They exist because of their mother. Krellian says, you've betrayed your mother, your creator. Just to sustain your own ego, you have no right to speak. The Ministry says, that was foolish. That was the past, when we were trapped in that cursed flesh. But now it is different. Krellian says, I take no orders from you. You've lost that flesh long ago, and now reside in the Sol 9000 as data. Did you forget who revived you in there? What may be an eternity to man is but a moment to God. I have no need for hesitation. Goodness. Oh my, so much customization must occur. Yeah, I'm aware. Why won't it let me out? Jesus. That's all I need from there for now. That stuff is basically garbage. Sounds good. Alrighty. I think that's a good place to stop.